Hey everyone, it's Anahata. How are you? Got some nice waves going on today. So excited to chat with you about a topic that is really hitting the mainstream lately, which is crazy because I've been talking about this for, over a decade. And to set up what I'm going to talk about, I want to just chat with you about the reason these malicious acts have been happening. Because there is always a reason, right? It's not random, even if you can't connect the dots. The dots are connecting. So I want to help you out on that regard, because it makes a lot of sense if you understand the basics of mind, body, soul connection and how to remain well, how to be whole. I always tell people, the root of the word healing simply means a return to the memory of wholeness. That's what it means. And so healing or being well means that you're whole, that you have the whole picture, that you're connected. And so you can then understand quickly the root of all disease is one word: disconnection. Disconnection from source, from wholeness. And there's multiple ways you can disconnect. Obviously, you can disconnect with the raw ingredients that keep you well, and you can introduce pesticides, chemtrails, fluoride in the water, etc. You can keep people disconnected from their autonomy and knowing how to work with their body, and giving away your power to doctors that are going to give you prescriptions for pharmaceuticals that activate healing responses that cause a slew of other disconnections to occur. You can disconnect through dividing people, having sides, having war, having miscommunication from a societal standpoint, division. And so, is there a big agenda happening? I'm not going to get into all of that because I don't want to be shadow banned, but it is absolutely real. These deeper states of division that are insidious, that are planned, that they have a purpose, right? And at the overarching reality, there's one word that comes to mind, and I've been writing a trilogy. The first book will be coming out this year, so hopefully end of November, if not in December. And the storyline, I call it, I've invented a whole new genre, which is called con-sci-fi. So it's sci-fi, right? Fiction, but it also weaves in science-based information to really engage the reader as this is possible, right? And then, of course, the con is consciousness. It's conscious sci-fi. So this is really reawakening the what-ifs within families. Decided on a conscious level that they would control people's health by stamping out what was known before then as natural medicine, just normal things that we would do to help support our bodies. You can't own nature, so they took that away, and they skewed the truth, and they made all of that taboo and non-scientific, and yet all of the pharmaceuticals that are on the market today mimic natural responses. So they take the nature out of nature and then call it science and the only way. And it's time to take back our power on that regard, for sure. Now I'm going to just walk a little bit with you here while I chat with you all about what happened after the 1900s, 1908-ish, when they started introducing various chemicals in the water supply What were they doing? I wonder what they were doing. Well, one of the things they started introducing was fluoride, and this was they cared about our teeth. That's what it. They're still sticking to that. Oh, this is just so that your teeth don't decay. Oh, right. Okay. So then it's really wild that there's so many tooth decaying foods and sweets and sugars and candy and who knows what else. But that's noble. They really want to help us out on that regard. So okay, we'll go along with that. Even though it has been proven now to be a neurotoxin. And there's a slew of, just go do your own research on the negative effects of fluoride. So one of the things that I'm really looking forward to after January is the initiatives that are going to be put into place by JFK Jr. and under the leadership of Trump. So if that triggers you and you were going for Kamala, I don't choose sides. I don't choose a wrong or right, up or down. I go for the gray. I go for what's the best for the most people. And for certain, there are so many wonderful things coming down the pipeline. Whether you are red or blue, we need to get over that, right? Don't be the division that you are virtuing that you aren't, right? Like, I love everyone, so how dare you do what? That makes no sense. Let's just drop those walls and sort of grow up a little bit and reach for, what's the best for the most. And so this initiative to remove fluoride from the water system, what is that going to actually do? Well, there's this little gland called the pineal gland inside of our brain. And it's been, long seen as a Wi-Fi connector to your conscious field, to being connected. Oh, there's that word. Connection is whole. Connection is healing. Connection is health. Vibrancy. Connection is understanding. Connection is compassion, love. Connection is the key, guys. So what's going to happen when we all start getting online with divine? Well, that's where the cookie crumbles for those that want to keep us in the unknown space of division, of fear, of lack of understanding, of confusion and chaos. What if we all start getting clarity, compassion, awareness? That is going to spark such a wave of remembrance. And I want to talk to you about remembrance real quick because, wow, isn't this sea foam just lovely? Part of wholeness is memory. A major part of wholeness is memory. Because memory is the meaning of life. What's the meaning of life? The meaning of life. It's creating memory. It's understanding and finding ways to know thyself. And to know thyself is to create meaning, to make sense of things, to have the whole picture. And that's very hard to do when things are being put in our atmosphere and in our water that keep us disconnected. And that lack of presence and that division causes all suffering and disease on the planet. So this is a major milestone that we're coming into, taking our power back, getting rid of the chemtrails that fact are being spewed into our atmosphere, and a slew of other things that have been going on. In my book, I talk about Project Forget, And it happened in the 1950s. And it was an initiative to really flip the script on people's psyche. Really get them to believe in different things that don't serve them. And then to prove those things in reality. And I can't remember who said it best. Was it Ford or Eisenhower? I don't remember. It's a famous quote. I should look it up. But it talks about if you get someone to believe something, you can then tell them they were wrong straight to their face with proof, and they still won't believe you. Because there's cognitive dissonance that happens. There's that point of, holy crap, my whole reality will shatter if what I wholeheartedly believe to be the truth is actually a lie, is actually false, is actually not the way it is, right? There's something that happens within you that for your own protection, you can't believe that at all costs, because it would just be too damaging to your psyche. So that easing back into the real truth is what's happening now. But one of the things is you know, we have been brainwashed systematically and in full force since the 50s. Absolutely. And in my book I call it Project Forget. We'll walk back this way. I hope you're enjoying these walks with me in the morning. You know, follow me if you want to hear more stuff like this. And I don't often like to, you know, bring in politics or just, you know, sort of controversial things that don't feel comfortable to talk about. But it's been on my mind a lot as I finished my first of 3 in my trilogy, that, you know, we deserve to know the truth. And we deserve to have choices about what happens to our bodies. You know, it cracks me up when people are like, oh no, now we don't have choices under this new administration. It's like, that's cognitive dissonance, because there has never been more choices now. There has never been more choice. The deep state isn't something you want, telling you what's up and down, telling you all will be taken care of, you don't need to think, I'll think for you. Well, no thank you. And so this is going to be great, guys. I'm so excited about what's going to transpire. We're going to be able to get our memory back. And now I want to chat with you about what I've been doing to help people get their memory back, because there was a reason why they chose water. I've been teaching about water for over a decade, and I have a best-selling book called Light Memory, An Alchemist's Guide to Water Bending. This sea foam is epic today. And without going into the science behind water, think of water as cohesion. It is a unifier, right? It is the Akasha in reality, and it holds memory, it holds emotion, and it's got all, you know, they say you already have all the answers. Well, it's because of the water of your body that's holding together that memory of wholeness. And so water is the key to longevity, vibrancy. What are you? You are water. 95% molecularly. That's a vast majority. And we are then focused on the small percent that is matter. When we look at DNA and we look at cellular health, we look at the thing. And what's around it? What is the vast majority of it? It's water. We aren't looking at that. It's like a fish in the ocean who you ask, you know, what's water? And they're like, what's water? They can't see it. All they see is everything else. Like, they're forgetting the majority of what it is, which is water. So they knew this, the powers that be that systematically decided it'd be best to keep people under control and accommodating and, govern them well if they just weren't out-of-the-box thinkers or particularly connected to their higher faculties and senses and spiritual, concepts and unification theories that have us wondering why, on a deeper level, things are happening and not going for them, quite frankly, challenging their narrative. It's much easier when we have society that just doesn't think and just eats the crap that they've been given and that just does what they're told and that doesn't have a unifying component of unconditional love and compassion that's divided. Yeah, that's much easier to control because then they can be the savior. They can rise up and say, look at this chaos. You need us, don't you? All the while they were creating the problem. So those walls are going away. The show has gotten really interesting, right? And now it's fun to see this matrix of control and division dissolving. So again, regardless of the political stance you have, this is not a talk about that. We need to unify and get over ourselves. There is no this side, that side. It should be all is one and one is all. Divided, we don't have a chance. In fact, that's the plan. So let's get together, look at the good that's happening through this conscious evolution of, maybe things aren't the way they say they are, and maybe we can get over our cognitive dissonance as well with regards to who would be so sinister to do such a thing. Well, I got news for you. Reality is stranger than fiction, and there's a real reason why they've been manipulating the water system particularly. So let's get back to basics with the water. I've got a master class. It's donation based, and in it I'm teaching you all the ways I know how to work with the water of your body to sing songs of wholeness to your cells through supporting and structuring your water. And I do have to frame it as sci-fi. So, all the people that do this and achieve their health goals, their mental goals, their emotional state, their leveling up, the biohacks that are present, that has nothing to do with my processes. I make no medical claims as to any of this. Really, it's a mystery, wink wink, as to how these people are reversing illnesses, chronic things, getting off all of their prescription meds. I don't tell people to do that at all. All the things that happen with your body to go back into homeostasis. Wow, it's a mystery. I'm scratching my head right now. Wink, wink. And so come join me. Remember that you can have these cellular conversations. And yes, it does mean communicating in words, but it means communicating molecularly. It means communicating through frequency and vibration. And it means communicating wholeness, reconnecting. And that's really, on the zoomed out basis level of why we age. Telomeres, cell divides, the telomere tells telomere, the cell, the info, to grow into proper configuration. And over time, those telomeres get shorter and shorter and shorter. So they're leaving out the full vibrancy, which is why we age. So what if we could start telling the whole story? And of course, remember, this is sci-fi. This is not scientific, wink. So, miracles. Let's talk about miracles. Those are just laws of the universe that we haven't fully understood yet. And, 100 years from now, God willing, you'll look back at videos like these, and instead of them being fringe ideas, people will be like, yeah, I mean, water is the way. Water is life. Water is wholeness, cohesion, emotion, memory. And so I'm going to teach you the ways to remember. Water helps you remember, and that's why I call the established ways they have told us to forget Project Forget, right? And now it's like, no, we want to remember. We're ready. We're okay with that. Ease yourself in. You know, there's a lot of disclosures that are going to be coming through that could be really jarring for a lot of people unless they prepare themselves on that front to just be playful. You know, imagine limitless potential in every moment. And as I said, truth is often stranger than fiction. And so I'm looking forward to working with those of you who want to explore new possibilities and leverage the technology that I remember. This is ancient wisdom, by the way. This is really rooted in things that have been suppressed for a long time, coming back into our memory. And I'm really looking forward to all the ways in which science will validate all of the extraordinary things I am postulating. And you know, this is quantum physics. This is science. This is the way it works, and it's replicable. It makes sense. It's very rooted in reality, and a touch of magic, right? A touch of, well, a lot, but it's alchemy. You know, change the frequency, change the manifestation of the mass. That is just natural law. And when you work with water specifically, you can sing songs of wholeness, getting all of you online with all of you back into the perfect blueprint mapping that is regenerative, that is energy escalate, you know, building, that is vital flow. And at the very least, the side effect is joy. That's one of the main things people say when they do what I teach them to do with their water. They're like, man, I just feel good. I'm just sleeping better. I just, you know, wow. Not to mention, you know, flow is the key to peak performance and optimal experience. So makes sense. You're going to feel better. You're just going to feel better. And once you get your head above water in that regards, things are vibing in a way of solution versus decay, and suffering leaves you. And it's a fun journey to take. So I'll put the link in the description of this video. Again, it's a donation-based masterclass that's happening on Sunday. And it's cellular conversations. We're not talking our phones. We are talking water, baby. Sacred water. And a side note, which I always love to bring up, is that my last name, which is Hollowell, the meaning of it is of the holy well. And these were caretakers of sacred water. So I have this in my epigenetical mapping to be the bearer of this remembrance. And also, of course, I talk about it in my light memory book, My Past Life as a Muin, which has unlocked memory of certain scientific things that now I just know to be true, that will be validated over time. And there are some leading edge scientists already validating them. You can look into water science and see some potentially interesting things, but I take it to infinity beyond that, because there's a lot of things that haven't come into the mind frame of general mainstream yet, but that will be coming back on the map very quickly regarding water and the power you have as water to return to wholeness. All right, guys, we're living in an interesting day and age. I love you so much. can't wait to be with you all on Sunday. Post any questions and also share, everyone's invited. So, love you all. We'll chat soon. Bye for now.